friends, today is June 4th. I realized I haven't opened this vlog yet, so I wanted to do that real quick. So I have been doing some reading, some really good reading. So I'm going to talk to you about the 3 volumes of manga that I've read so far this month. First up, Confessions of a Shy Baker. This is a male-male romance where someone is learning how to publicly be out in a way, and he's trying to be more LGBT friendly at work. And how to show that his rental company is more LGBT friendly to try to draw up customers on the suggestion of one of his coworkers. And he has a adorable partner at home, and he loves to bake for him, and it's super cute. I really enjoyed everything about this. I'm really excited to pick up the next volume when it comes out, and I'm just having a good time with Confessions of a Shy Baker. So this is one of those Tokyo Pops where it's definitely a slower burn. It's not going to necessarily be spicy, but it's super cute and I really liked it. The next one is a spicier one, and that is Twilight Out of Focus. So essentially this is about 2 teens who are roommates at their all-guys boarding school, and one is openly gay with the other. And as the story continues on, the other one, who's not ever thought he was gay, starts to realize he has feelings for his roommate and his best friend. And so this is the slow development of their relationship. They do start to date by the end, so there are a couple of spicy scenes. And this one was sealed, and I'm glad it was. It was a really good time. This is only volume 1, so I am excited to see how their story is going to develop and continue with some of the reveals we had about our characters in this one. I think overall it's just going to be very enjoyable. Why are you gnawing on a box, you weirdo? Why are you gnawing the box? And then the other volume I've read is not a queer one, but I was so excited I couldn't wait, and that is Me and My Beast Boss. So this one is about this woman who lives in a world where the people in power tend to be beast kind, and her boss is this big, fluffy lion guy here, if it'll focus. Yeah. And so one day she kind of gets pulled into his office, and she thinks she's in trouble, but she's not. He wants to have her as his personal secretary. My battery's gonna die. Be right back.
A few moments later.
Sorry about that. But anyways, so he wants her as his personal secretary because she does such great work. And he wanted to make sure she wasn't actually frightened of him. And so it's this whole thing as things go throughout. And we find out that this lion man is starting to have feelings for the woman he has as his personal secretary now. And it's super sweet and super cute. I'm really excited for the next volume. I just had to read this because I finally had it in my hands and I was super excited. I can understand how not everyone would necessarily like this, but I absolutely adored it. So there's that. Okay, now on to the books I've read. First up, All the Right Notes by Dominic Lim. Now, this is a slow burn queer love story where these 2 guys meet in high school, and you get flashbacks between the high school age and the current age. There's a trigger warning for loss of a parent here, so just be aware that that's present. And anyways, this is just a love letter to theater kids and drama and, you know, show tunes, that kind of era. But it's also this beautiful slow burn queer love story, and I loved everything about it. It's so good. It comes out on the 6th, so it'll be out by the time you're seeing this video. But I had an ARC and I read it early, and I'm so glad I got ahead of it because it is so sweet, and I cannot wait for you guys to pick it up. Speaking of books I think you guys should pick up, one of the customers at my store is an author, and he gave me a copy of his book, which is Cruising Future Father-in-Law. Now, if you like a good queer taboo story, this is it. So he's engaged to this woman. She's kind of the spoiled princess, has always kind of gotten what she wanted because she was a product of divorce because her dad was gay. And so he got a divorce from her mom. And he's kind of lived a very free life, not really wanted to settle down ever again until he meets August, the fiance. And he feels things he shouldn't be feeling. But August is also feeling those sorts of things towards Pierce. He notices a lot more about him, and they slowly start on this taboo relationship. And he wanted to make sure that August actually wanted to marry his daughter and things like that. So it's really good. I really love the course of this. The sequel just came out, he told me. So I'm going to be picking that one up soon because I'm really excited to see where August and Pierce's story goes. The last thing I've started, I've not read too much of it yet. I'm doing a separate vlog just for this book, and that is Love Letters for Joy by Melissa C. This is the second book by Melissa C. I absolutely adored the first one. I am also annotating it. As you can see, I'm already starting to get some tabbies here. And I'm very excited to continue on this one. I just haven't had enough dedicated time to like sit and read it and annotate it and enjoy it, which is why I haven't gotten as far as I wanted to yet. But I am thoroughly enjoying this thus far. If you're looking for a good YA queer story to try out in Pride Month, I would recommend picking this one up. This is a queer Cyrano de Bergerac where we have an asexual disabled heroine, and it's amazing. I love it. I love it so far. Their friend group has a couple that is female as well. So loving it so far, and I'm only like the first 2 chapters in. So very excited to continue on this one. So I believe that's everything I needed to update you on. Things are good so far this month. I just have had a very busy work weekend, so I haven't had a ton of time to read, but I will have some time to read over the next few days. So expect me to make progress in things. Oh, my current audiobook is Heated Rivals by Katie Robert. That one I'm just reading because I have an arc of it and I had the audiobook handy, so went ahead and did that. But anyhow, so that's where I'm at. Expect to see lots of queer things this month because yay Pride. Happy Pride, everybody. I'll see you later. Hi, friends. So we're officially at the 6th of June. So again, I am a little bit behind on updating you guys on what I've been reading. But I do have quite a bit to share with you. It's been mostly manga that I've finished. I am still working on Love Letters for Joy. I haven't gotten too much into this yet, but I will be getting more into it very, very soon. I've got a day off tomorrow, and then I have the whole weekend off. So this will get done very shortly. So let's quickly talk about the one book that I finished. It was not a queer title, but it was an arc that I had, and that is Heated Rivals by Katie Robert. This was fantastic. This is the sequel to Dark Succession, I believe it's called. Yeah, Dark Succession. And again, we are still in this Boston mafia world. We met this couple in the previous book, and I was really excited to get their book. And again, I don't want to spoil this. This is book 2 in the O'Malley series, technically. And these are kind of being republished and rebranded a little bit. I'm very excited to continue as these continue to come out. And this one's really fantastic. If you like good Katie Robert smut, then this one's definitely going to fit that bill. But I do find the back and forth, the will they, won't they, the almost Romeo and Juliet feel of their romance. It doesn't end as tragically as Romeo and Juliet, I will say that. But I did end up really enjoying this particular one. And we are introduced to the next couple as well in this novel. And I am very excited for theirs because I think there's going to be some really interesting ties to what we started to learn in Heated Rivals, in what's going to come in the next one. I don't know what the new version of it was called, is going to be called, but it's currently The Indecent Proposal. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this one goes. You know, to get some traditionally published mafia doesn't happen very often, so I'm excited that Katie Roberts kind of paving the way for other authors in that realm, so that's fantastic. Okay, my reading vlog is finally going up today, but it's taking a minute to get up, so we're going to continue to talk. So first things first, I did finally get around to reading Barbara Writes Volume 1, and I cackled out loud reading this volume. This is a male-male romance between these two. He is kind of the bastard son of a viscount, it seems, so he has a viscount calling, but he can't really do much with it because he's a bastard child, technically. And then we have Lord Montague, who kind of came into his title very young and no one takes him seriously. And so he wears disguises out in public so that people try to take him more seriously. And it's absolutely fantastic. His real name is Joel, and he gets to see him kind of without his mask and get introduced to him as Joel. And it's fantastic. I really absolutely adored this very, very much. They are both fantastic characters. Adam and Joel both add a lot to the story. Adam has kind of been the philanthropist, the playboy, male, female, non-binary, has never mattered to Adam. And Adam finds himself falling for Joel, and dressed as Lord Montague as well, which is a whole thing. But anyway, and Joel doesn't take him seriously because he doesn't think that he's being honest. He's like, you have to have fallen in love before. And Adam's like, no, I have never fallen in love before, and you are spurning my love, and it hurts. And there's a lot of shenanigans throughout in here, and I had a really fun time with it. There is another male-male couple within the series as well that there's some interesting dynamics between the two of them, so I'm really interested to see how that's going to play out as well. But overall, the political religious climate is very interesting. This is very like medieval, almost kind of time period feeling, and it's fantastic. I'm absolutely adoring it, and I cannot wait for volume 2. I think I've already purchased it, so I'm going to have to read that very, very soon. Will most likely be read this month. Because Pride, why not? Next up, I did finally get around to reading The Titan's Bride Volume 3. I found this volume to really kind of flesh out parts of the story that had kind of left me hemming and hawing in the last volume. So I'm very happy to see how this wrapped up. And it's not over by any means. There's at least 2 more volumes that we're going to get. It says it's ongoing in Japan, so I'm guessing we'll get a 3rd. So we'll be up to 6. So I don't know how long it's going to take before we get the next volume. They seem to be pretty spaced out at this point because we're pretty current with Japan. But either way, I am very much enjoying this. I know it's not everybody's thing, but man, I'm having a great time. The next one I ended up reading is I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love. So in this one, we have a 30-year-old office worker who has always had, he has always been gay and doesn't know how to meet people. So he's constantly just been taking care of himself with a dildo and kind of doing his thing. And he heard about this club that's a little more exclusive, gay only kind of a thing. And he's like, maybe I should go try one. So he goes into this one pretty blind and ends up meeting the other hero there. And we learn a secret about the other hero that I'm not going to tell you because it's a spoiler. Towards the latter half of this volume that makes this all the sweeter. And he's fairly young. He's still in college, like 21, 22, I forget. But they have a very sweet relationship, and I really enjoyed this volume. It's a 1 volume, all contained in one, just a single volume story. And I really enjoyed it. I would love to have spent more time with these characters, of course, but I'm okay with where it ended. Like, it felt like a flushed out story. It is steamy. It is sealed for our pleasure. And I really enjoyed myself with this one. The next one I finally got around to reading is Pulse Volume 1. So this one is a female-female story where we have Mel. She's a heart surgeon, but she doesn't seem to outwardly show much emotion or affection for anyone. She's been burned in the past, and so she keeps things close to the vest. She doesn't get too close to any of her lovers, and she ends up running into this girl who has a heart condition, and they start forming a friendship, and Mel starts to feel things that she hasn't felt in a long time. And so that's kind of where we're leaving off in Volume 1. The dynamics there are really interesting. It is steamy, and we do have quite a bit of Mel sleeping with whoever she wants in this one. Sometimes in a day she'll have multiple partners, like she just has sex when she wants to have sex. And it is full color. I can't really flip through too much because I keep running into steamy things. But yes, it is a full color volume. And I'm really excited to continue. I know I have Volume 2 floating around here, and I know Volume 3 is also out. All right. And then the last one I have to talk to you about right now is, does it count if you lose your virginity to an android? So this is like the Yuri, more pervy version of Absolute Boyfriend for shoujo readers. So in this one, we have a girl who accidentally, drunkenly orders a love robot, a love AI, a love android, and completely meant for sexual pleasure. To register that this is her robot, she has to literally stick her fingers inside and register it that way. To wake her up from sleep mode, she has to basically kiss her awake and like turn on the switch inside her mouth with her tongue. Like, it has some really like suggestive things going on there, but this is also kind of like Dick Fight Island in a way, where it's very pure and innocent in other ways, where there's a naivete almost layered throughout. Again, very steamy, sealed for our pleasure. I'm really excited to continue this one. It ended up being better than I expected it to be, so yes, very excited for this one. So far, all of my queer reading has been a hit, and I've just been having a really good reading month so far. I'm really happy I chose to just kind of mood read. I have also started Wicked Beauty for the Chapter 3 podcast. We're doing Wicked Beauty this month, and we're doing the recording Friday. So I want to make sure I have it done in time. And I work today, but I have tomorrow off. So I'm hoping to get it done by tomorrow. I also hope to get a little more reading in as well. I have, as you can see, I have stacks upon stacks of things to read. I have a few more queer volume ones I'd love to get to, and then I can talk about some of the, I think one of the videos I'm going to do this month is some of the best new queer stories I've started in 2023, because I've done various LGBT manga recommendation videos. So I think this one will be a really good addition for what I've been reading this year, but I wanted to read a few more before I did that one. So I've really been enjoying my reading month so far. I hope you guys are having a good reading month when you see this, and if not, mood read and just read what you want, because it's been serving me very well. Anyhow, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will see you guys in the next clip. Hello, friends. So it is well past the time for me to cut off this vlog. So we're doing everything that I've read as of June 17th. And yes, you've been in my office a lot, but you got to see me go on my first limo ride, my dad's retirement party. We rented a limo to take him to the restaurant, and that was a lot of fun. I don't share a lot of my family without their consent, and I had my nephews in the limo as well, so I definitely didn't show any clips of my family with all of that. But we had a lovely time and went to a Brazilian restaurant local to our area called Rodizio Grill, where they bring out the meat like on a big like knife essentially and cut it off fresh for you. And it was brilliant. It was so pretty and so delicious, and I loved everything about it. But we have a lot to catch up on. So let's go ahead and start catching up on the things that we've read. So first, let's talk digital reads. Well, I did finish my reread of Wicked Beauty for Chapter 3 podcast. I'm going to leave the podcast episode linked up above so you can check that out because that is a lot of fun. By the way, if you're not familiar with Chapter 3 podcast, this is run by Izzy at Happy For Now and Bethany at Beautifully Bookish Bethany, where once a month for their podcast, they talk about romances, and I've been asked to come in with this Dark Olympus read-along, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm having a great time with it. And yes, so I did that. I also finished Love Letters for Joy. I have my dedicated video for that. Again, that will be linked in the cards. What else digitally do I need to talk to you about? Oh, I finally read Claimed by the Orc Prince by Lionel Hart. I'm really excited to continue the series. This first installment in the series definitely captured my attention. Their love story was really sweet and very much a slow burn. And there's this element that during their bonding ceremony, like they now can telepathically like sense each other's emotions. So that causes some conflict within the couple because they're just misunderstanding each other's emotions because they're coming from two different races. And it's really amazing. I really enjoyed it. And I'm very excited to continue. I did read volume 6 of Heaven Official's Blessing. I don't have my copy in the room with me, but oh my gosh, it tore my heart out. I cried a lot. Lindsay and I buddy read this and we were both like, our precious babies, how are we going to get them back together? So I'm really excited to see how the next volume goes for them. And I hope it goes much better than this one did because, ow, that hurt. And then the one that we're currently buddy reading, I think I'm in a DNF. Sorry. It's Taste of Gold and Iron by Alexander Rowland. I think I'm just going to soft DNF it for now. I don't have the attention span and the bandwidth to really take in a new high fantasy world right now. So I think that's why I'm going to soft DNF that for now. One of the big things that I ended up reading, I had an audio arc of this, but I picked up a physical copy, and that is Psyche and Eros by Luna McNamara. Now, if you are not super familiar with the Psyche and Eros lore, I think you'll really enjoy this. But if you're very familiar with the lore, I think you're going to be disappointed by some of the liberties that Luna McNamara took with the story. Psyche, basically her entire character was turned into this battle-centered feminist rather than letting her be this very feminine woman for Eros. And it worked for the story she was trying to tell, but I don't think it was wholly necessary. I still ended up enjoying the writing. I would pick up something else by Luna McNamara. I gave this a solid 4, but I can definitely understand why people didn't like it. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. I do wish that McNamara hadn't made it bad for Psyche to be feminine and that she had to be a warrior when she really wasn't in Greek myth. So that would be my only like big complaint, but the way the story went for what was being told was done really well, which is why I would pick up something else from McNamara in the future. But if you're looking for like a direct Psyche and Eros retelling closer to something along the lines of like a Jennifer Saint, that's not what you're going to get here. So with that said, I did enjoy this. I'm happy to own it. I will probably reread it at some point. But yes, if you're looking for a direct retelling, this is not going to be it. But I really appreciated what was going on here. I think that's it book-wise. Let me double check. Make sure I didn't listen to an extra audio in there somewhere. I might have. Oh, I did finally get around to reading Finally Mine by Lucy Score, which I really, really loved. Protecting What's Mine is coming out from Bloom very soon, so I'm going to be starting that one. But yes, Finally Mine is Grace and Aldo's story. If you've read, what's the other one called? Pretend You're Mine. So this is like a couple that's happening alongside the couple from the first one. So if you're interested in Aldo and Grace's story, or Gloria's story, I don't know why I called her Grace, Aldo and Gloria's story, then Finally Mine is that story. And I really loved the way it all built because it made complete sense for their circumstances. I really related to this one even a little bit more than I did in Pretending You're Mine, because Grace comes from a similar background to me, and Aldo has his own problems, and I really just love what was explored within that novel. So I believe that is it for books. That is, yes. Ah, that is not what I was trying to do. So now that that's done, let's talk about the rest of the manga that I've read up to starting Manga Summer Lovin', because Manga Summer Lovin' is happening and I'm reading like a fiend. I got bit by the manga reading bug, so I'm just riding the wave because I have so much that I've bought lately. So, first things first, I've got Old Fashioned Cupcake volume, or the story. So this is about a man near 40 who is the other guy's senpai, and he's starting to feel old and letting himself look old and things. And so the younger guy is like, you're starting to look old, senpai. Let's fix this. Let's have the mentality. And so he suggests, let's have the mentality of these teenage girls and just go after all these fun things. And so they start going on pseudo dates together to like help him feel younger. And it's really, really cute. I loved everything about this. And it does get a little steamy towards the very end, but not much. And I just loved everything about this. Like, Old Fashioned Cupcake is so good. Thank you, Sublime, for giving us such good, solid BLs. Because, yes, Old Fashioned Cupcake is great. I like that they're older, because the older guy, he's 39, almost 40. And then the younger guy's about 30. They're about 10 years apart. But again, they're both older. So it worked really well for me. Another one that I got read was My Secret Affection Volume 2, which is the final volume in the series. Now, I ended up really enjoying this series. It would have been really interesting to see where this continued to go, but it ended up getting canceled. So we only have the 2 volumes. So this is a world in which a meteor landed and everyone was having homosexual feelings instead of heterosexual feelings. And so this boy's grandfather remained heterosexual, and so he became like this big thing, and it was bad if you were heterosexual and all these things. And it's about these 2 childhood friends discovering that they do have romantic feelings for one another. She's had feelings for him for a long time, but he's just kind of coming around to the idea of allowing himself to have those feelings. And it's really sweet and really cute. I think this is a really good look at a reverse of how a queer kid on the outside might feel, in which we are dealing with a world full of heterosexuals and someone who is gay or queer in any sort of way might feel in that situation. And so it's really interesting. I really enjoyed the exploration of that. And this was written by someone who was queer, so this is not homophobic in any way. I know some people were starting to say that in the beginning, but it's definitely not. So if you've done some research on the mangaka, you'll know that that's not the case. Hi. You want to come here? Come on. Here, go. Now I got a film. You stay put. Kaladin's been very needy, so if he starts yelling again, I'm very sorry. Next, I have There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless, Volume 1. So this is essentially about 2 girls entering high school. The girl with the pink hair, she's always kind of been on the outskirts, and she's like, nope, I'm gonna fit in. So she starts hanging around with the popular crew, and one of the popular girls ends up getting feelings for her. And they start trying to date. It's really fun. It's got some shenanigans going on here, and they're really sweet. So I am very excited to continue this one. This one worked better for me than some others of similar storylines, just because it's done in a really sweet way rather than a pervy way. So I'm really enjoying it. And then we have this one, which is Sumasaki ni Korozu, which I believe is Sumasaki and Korozu, is how that would translate into English, and they just didn't bother to. This is by Aki Aoki, or Aki Aoi, and this is just essentially about this college student coming to work for this man, and it ends up being a... Sorry. Come here, you. Or not. it ends up being a really sweet, slow burn story for the two of them. And it's very centered in academics based in nature. And it was just really, really sweet. I had a great time and would thoroughly enjoy it because they realized that they need each other throughout the course of the story, or want each other rather than need each other. And it's really sweet. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. I've been talking too long. This is what I get for not being a good vlogger. All right, 2 more and then we're done with this video. So next up I have My Dear Agent, Volume 1. Or is it only the one story? I can't remember. It's Volume 1. So anyways, so this is about this guy who's like head of a bodyguard team for this really rich kid. And the guy that he ends up hiring, that the family hires to work on his team. And he's this like tall, suave guy. He's like the adult Asahi for me. He kind of has that same Asahi kind of energy, so I'm all about it. And it's about their romance and how it's a slow burn and how like the rich kid is rooting for them and wants them to get along and wants them to date. And it's super cute. I really, really loved this. It was way more precious than I thought it would be. And the Asahi kind of guy is like running around freshly showered, naked things pretty often. Like just wrapped in a towel. And so it's a lot of fun. There's some shenanigans throughout. And I just had a great time. I cannot wait for more of this one because it's such a good one. Good choice, Tokyo Pop. Glad you picked this one up. And then we're going to talk about one last, but definitely not least, that's a little rougher. And this is called Until I Love Myself. This is about a non-binary mangaka. This is basically autobiographical in a way. And so this is about Poppy's story of working for another mangaka and basically being sexually abused and emotionally abused. And there was a lot going on like from this mangaka that she was working for that was absolutely awful. So this is very hard to read at times. So check your triggers before you step into this one because it's awful. And we kind of are learning Poppy's journey to discovering themselves and to standing up for herself and for what happened. And she's looking at filing formal action against what happened from the mangaka. And it was really, really good. Very well done. This is volume 1, so I do think I will continue, but you just need to make sure you're in a good headspace before you read this one because it is dark and it goes there. So with that said, that should be everything for this video. If you're here just because you love me, leave me your favorite summer related emoji and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
It's been raining for days now, been running like a child. Can't feel the cold, well I'm lost here with you, lost in the woods. Lost as I should.